All right. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. My name is Joette Bobre, and I am the Outreach and Program Coordinator at Heart Tutoring. And I've worked directly with supporting the Joseph W. Greer school site for the last 2 years.
Hi, everybody. I'm Emily Gaffney, the Executive Director at Heart, and helped start the program 7 years ago. Thanks for being here.
All right, so just to go over a few quick Zoom housekeeping things to keep in mind. Your mic and your camera are off just to ensure that there are no distractions during the presentation, and it will be recorded just so that you know. You're welcome to use the Q&A feature to submit questions and or to share remarks throughout the presentation in the chat. We will do our best to address your questions during the presentation or at the end during our brief FAQ and Q&A session. So let's give it a whirl right now. You may, if you choose, introduce yourself and whether or not you are a new to Heart or a returning tutor in the chat now. So I'll give you a couple of moments to pop that into the chat. Welcome, welcome. Thank you all. So you can continue popping that information in, and we appreciate you all for being here. And we look forward to a great year of programming with all of you.
So I want to ask you to reflect on what it was like for you to learn math. Think about when you felt successful at math, and think about when math was hard for you. What's your comfort level now? And what factors contributed to that? We're going to be focusing this presentation on students who are not meeting math standards at their grade level. Imagine the experience of getting problems wrong repeatedly. In one of the recent tests, the NAEP test, it showed that 51% of elementary age children in Charlotte are on grade level in math. This impacts their academic confidence and their ability to be successful in middle school and then graduate high school and access career and post-secondary options. The need for math support is exacerbated by COVID-19. A recent study predicts that students may retain only half of what they learned in math in the 2019-20 school year because of the interruption to school and the summer break. But we're here today because we have a piece of the solution, and we're asking you to join us. We're here to ask you to become a volunteer tutor. With the right tools and supports, volunteer tutors have proven to be highly effective in helping students catch up in math, with the added benefit of relationship building and mentorship. So our hope is that today you'll decide that you want to sign up as a tutor by putting your name and your email address in our website volunteer sign-up form, which is at hearttutoring.org. So what is Heart Tutoring? We are a nonprofit based here in Charlotte, North Carolina, that recruits and supports volunteers to be tutors for elementary students. The organization was piloted initially 10 years ago by volunteers, mostly members of Social Venture Partners, a venture philanthropy organization here in Charlotte. The volunteers saw a need for an effective way for volunteers to make a difference for students who are falling behind. The group worked in partnership with Charlotte-Mecklenburg schools and communities and schools to design the initial curriculum and program format. In 2013, we formed our first board of directors and incorporated and became a standalone nonprofit organization. And since then, we've been scaling the model of supporting schools with volunteer tutors. In the most recent year, Heart Tutoring recruited and supported 1,300 volunteers to work as tutors for 1,190 students across 23 schools. The mission of the organization is to ensure all elementary students develop the strong foundation in math and enthusiasm for academics needed for long-term success.
So many of you may be wondering how programming will work during the COVID-19 pandemic. Tutoring will be virtual in the 2021 school year, and throughout the summer, staff and volunteers have been testing tutoring sessions using a combination of video conferencing and a shared whiteboard application and math manipulatives, which were mailed to the students' homes. We are continuing to test and improve that model, and we feel good about the impact and structure, but it might still be improved from here. It will be at least as good as what you are going to see in just a moment in this video.
Let's see how much you know about number 8 now that you bring that up. If I add another cube here, and there's 8 total, you ready for the hiding game?
Yay!
Just for funsies, let's see what you might know in that little noggin. Are 8, and I show you 1. How many are hiding under my hand?
7.
There are 8, and I show you 3. How many are hiding under my hand?
5.
Alrighty, you knew those so well. Have you been practicing your number 8? Maybe.
But it makes, it's so cool because it makes 6. 3 and 3 and 3 and 3 in the bottom. 3 black and 3 reds on top. It's
Right.
cool because it still makes 6.
All of those make 6. You are right. So, Zoom high five. Zoom high five.
So today we're going to go over the need and impact, Heart Tutoring's formula for volunteer success, which is the school partnership, a curriculum, program coordinator, and some training. We'll go over the program results, next steps for volunteers, and a few frequently asked questions and Q&A for anyone who has additional questions. We'll spend most of our time in the formula for volunteer success, describing the components of the program so that you feel comfortable signing up. Ultimately, we hope that you will join us in October as a volunteer tutor and spread the word to your family and friends. Again, to become a tutor, you can sign up today by typing the link on this slide into your browser to find the sign up form. And additionally, we will share contact information and the link to sign up in the chat at the end of this presentation. So the best way to explain how the program works is to tell you about a student. Jack, a bright and energetic second grade student at Joseph W. Greer, was nominated for Heart Tutoring by his teacher because he needed extra help in math. I was the program coordinator who had the pleasure of working with Jack. We saw in his pre-assessment that he needed help with the first grade level skill of identifying how many more and how many less when comparing small quantities. We paired Jack with volunteer tutors who work with him each week in lessons in Heart's more or less curriculum notebook and building to more advanced skills. Every week, Jack greeted his tutors at his classroom door with smiles and hugs. As they walked to the tutoring classroom, tutors always checked to see how he was doing, to get to know him, and what was happening in his life. This all helped Jack feel more comfortable, supported, and ready to learn. During tutoring, he played games and activities on his level that helped him internalize math concepts. During the year, Jack made great progress. He ultimately demonstrated mastery on more or less and several other concepts in the Heart post-assessment. As a third grader, Jack enrolled in Heart again, working with the same tutors for a second year. Relationships continued to develop, and Jack moved through 2 more concept notebook levels, ending in place value, which is a concept at his third grade level. Jack's tutors, teachers, and myself as his coordinator believed he was well on his way to mastering his foundational math concepts and becoming a more confident learner. This story not only happened for Jack, but for 1,000 other students last year. Today, over 98% of students have made growth on post assessments that meet the program goals advised by UNC Charlotte and CMS math specialists. Today, over 90% of teachers have said students have increased their confidence and/or enthusiasm for academics because of the program. And because of this, we want to serve 1,000 students this year, and we need another 700 volunteer signups by October 23rd to make that happen. So addressing early math needs and confidence that comes with it could be an important piece of the puzzle for opportunity and economic mobility. When young students have successful experiences in math, they are also building important lifelong skills such as perseverance, problem solving, critical thinking, confidence, and purpose. Young student success in math is a first step towards job preparation, future income potential, and economic mobility. To name a few facts, 75% of the fastest growing occupations require significant math or science preparation. And 75% of US jobs require a high school diploma, and passing math, which is Algebra 1, is a high school graduation requirement. A 2013 study on economic mobility found that for a child born in poverty in Charlotte, it is harder to get out of poverty than in any of 50 other large cities in the US. Public school quality is cited as a factor, along with social capital, segregation, civic engagement, and income inequality. Researchers were very surprised to find that school math entry skills, like knowing your numbers and ordinality, were found to be correlated not only with later achievement in math, but in literacy too. They have to speculate as to why, but some ideas are: 1, math causes tracking into special education or gifted courses. 2, the concrete feedback nature of math contributes to a student's early self-image of being good or bad at school. And 3, in addition, math supports executive function skills.
In terms of the students who Heart serves, school partners nominate students who are 2 to 3 years behind in math and also are classified as economically disadvantaged in the school's official records. Students who are already falling behind in elementary math typically lack number sense, meaning a conceptual understanding of how numbers actually work. Without intervention, it's unlikely that students who start behind will improve. You can see on the graph that the scores typically decline between 3rd and 8th grade, possibly indicative of memorization of math facts in early years without having a strong foundational understanding of numbers. This can be addressed through targeted one-on-one attention and extra practice, which is what the Heart Tutoring curriculum is designed to provide. Heart Tutoring's mission includes all elementary students, and our strategy is to focus first on students who may not otherwise have access to private tutoring. More than 1 in 7 Charlotte residents live below the poverty line, and 1 in 5 children in Mecklenburg County live in poverty. So that's around 50,000 children. Children from under-resourced neighborhoods tend to enter kindergarten behind, often with less hands-on experience with numbers, which again is an addressable need that our volunteers have been successful in addressing. And then you may also know from other studies that the majority of children in poverty are children of color. Black and Indigenous people of color have faced barriers to wealth generation in Charlotte and the United States, like redlining, home ownership limitations, discriminatory hiring practices, and access to higher education. So this is reflected in the makeup of Charlotte schools, with the majority of students in high poverty schools being Black and Hispanic, actually nearly 9 in every 10 students. 94% of Heart students are people of color, and our staff is engaging and has been engaging in training around issues of racial equity with the desire to give culturally proficient support of our students and really support the whole child. And you'll see this content being shared with volunteers as well.
So we think that volunteers are well positioned to give students successful experiences in math. Volunteers can be successful at Heart with our curriculum. You don't have to be a math whiz at all. Hands-on experiences with numbers support later algebra. Volunteers can give encouragement that matters a lot in math and in life in general. Confidence is a particularly important component of math, and the presence of an encouraging adult is very helpful to students, combined with math that is on the student's level. We also know that our students have other forms of stress and trauma in their lives related to lack of resources and issues in our community, particularly in the wake of COVID-19, impacting health, relationship quality, school completion, and other outcomes. Research on adverse childhood experiences, also known as ACEs, says that interventions focused on building resilience can offset the negative impacts. At the end of the day, just like students who are well-resourced, Heart students need mentors with listening skills, someone who believes in their potential, consistency, choices, empowerment, and extra time and practice to learn math. One quote that we really love from a Heart student says, "I'm able to do it, which is math, faster, which was my first goal. And this, Heart Tutoring, helps me get close to that. I'm noticing I'm more mature about my answers, and I know if I need help, you, my tutor, will help me. It has been fun to learn and know things." Now we're going to take a look behind the scenes at Heart's formula for making this work for volunteers and student success.
We see ourselves as the link between students and volunteers. You just heard about students and some of the needs there. We know that on the volunteer side, people are willing to help, but have limited time and need to know the efforts are going to make a difference with the time that you do have. The same formula for supporting volunteers that we've done in the past still applies in the virtual environment. So there's really 4 critical ingredients: the school partnership, the curriculum, the program coordinator, and the training. We're going to walk through all 4 of those components so that you understand what it's like to be a volunteer and why the program works.
So number 1, the school partnership. We organize all of the logistics up front with our school partners. We meet with all of the principals who let us know the school's needs and pick grade levels and tutoring times. Others at the school nominate students and help us obtain parental permission. We give the teachers and principal quarterly progress reports, and we share all of the assessment data so that it can help in their instructional efforts. You can see on this timeline that we are currently getting student nominations. We will start giving pre-assessments later this month, spending about an hour with each student before he or she meets a tutor to teach them the technology and to find out what skills that their tutors will help them on. This year is going to be challenging. Schools are facing a heavy amount of uncertainty with COVID-19 and the school format. We're going to have to be as nimble as possible, but we have great principal partners and have put some strong plans together.
You can see our school partners listed and starred on this map. Each of these schools has officially elected to partner with Heart Tutoring, which means they have expressed a need for extra math support and mentorship for their students. Many of the schools are in low opportunity areas as defined by the Leading on Opportunity report that we mentioned earlier. And most of the Heart Tutoring schools do have access or are eligible to receive Title I federal funds, which allows them to access extra resources for their students based on financial needs at the school.
So looking at the curriculum, Heart will provide a curriculum that is aligned with the program assessments and covers foundational skills. That's counting through single-digit multiplication. Students work as quickly as possible through concept levels marked on this slide in the yellow X's. The games are easy for volunteers to deliver. You do not have to be a math whiz. You are working on early elementary math skills. The activities and games in the curriculum lesson plans involve rolling dice, playing cards, and stacking cubes, just for example.
You saw the games in the video earlier. You saw that students were playing with math manipulatives that we mailed to their houses. And then the screen that you're seeing is called Google Jamboard. It's accessed similar to how you would access Google Docs. Most of the activities also have a 2-minute instructional video showing you quickly how to play the game. So we'll show you 30 seconds or so of this video.
Hi everyone, welcome to our War for More or Less activity. I know this is one of our favorites here at Heart and we are excited to show you how to play today. In this activity, we are going to practice understanding and using the language of how many more and how many less through a really fun game. So let's get started. On slide number 3, it lets us know that it would be helpful if students have their connecting cubes handy in case they need those for support when solving to find the difference between 2 amounts. So if we move to slide 4, this is going to take us to part one of our game where we're playing War for Less. So in this round of the game, whoever has less will be the winner of each hand. So we can go ahead and move these red cards off the top. And you'll want to decide who is player A and who is player B before you move those cards. So in this case, it looks like player A has the card with less. So they will state 6 is less than 10 by 4. Or they can also say 6 is 4 less than 10. We want students to practice using this language in sentence form. If they need to use their connecting cubes on their table to help them compare the differences, they are more than welcome to do so. So player A wins that hand because they correctly stated their sentence, so they get both cards. Moving.
So those videos will help you be ready for whatever activities are needed that day. In terms of technology needed, the volunteers would need to be able to have video, audio, and internet access during tutoring. You could use a laptop or a tablet. If you use a tablet, you'll probably also want to use a phone so that you can see the video conference and the Jamboard whiteboard that you just saw at the same time. Again, you'll need the whiteboard application called Google Jamboard. It can be accessed by downloading a free application on your computer or tablet, or you can access it the same way you would access Google Docs. Right now, Zoom and Google Meets are our top choices for video conferencing because they are compliant with the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, and they allow for some functionalities that would allow a program coordinator to still monitor and support the sessions. These are also the platforms that Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is using, and so the students will be more used to it. So if your company does not allow Zoom or Google Meets, this does mean you may need to be able to access tutoring on a personal device to be able to use those programs.
So number 3, the program coordinator. The third important piece of success for volunteers is that the program coordinator is available during tutoring for real-time support. The program coordinator does the initial orientation and then facilitates breakout rooms during tutoring and can pop in to answer questions and make sure everything is going well. The program coordinator also monitors the students' progress so that they can pass to curriculum levels. So the program coordinator will probably be helping around about 6 tutoring pairs at a time. Here's an example of a program coordinator supporting a virtual tutoring session. You will watch this video from the perspective of a tutor who gets sent into a breakout room and asks for help from the program coordinator.
Welcome everyone, happy Tuesday. This is our Tuesday tutoring group. I'm gonna go ahead and break you out into your breakout room. You can go ahead and get started. Have a great tutoring session.
I'm gonna click join. Here we go. Hey, good morning.
Hi. What's that one? It's right in your share today. I don't know how to play. You can't see my screen.
Great, I got it. Okay. It's taking a second to load. Ooh, I'm hungry. Pizza toppings look great. Ooh, do I get to make the pizza? This is exciting to pour them. Okay, we can go ahead on. This activity, we're going to practice changing one number to another. And I am going to say that I need some help getting started on my activity. So I'm going to click more and then ask for help. I'm going to invite the host to come help us. Great, and I can move this out of the way so we can keep working. Move the little screen out of the way. There she is.
Hey guys, how may I help you?
Hey there, I want to make sure that these specific birds aren't the ones we're supposed to move, right?
Right, you're going to go to the page 3 and those are going to begin your activity.
Oh, there's our number that we changed one. Okay, thank you.
Great, have a good time.
Okay. All right, Sarah, if you want to be the pretend student until we get put back into our main room, can you put 4 birds on the wire?
I can on my own board, but I can't on this one because it's a shared screen. So yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, she says 1 minute left.
I'm just saying that. So here I'm moving them. And you can see me moving.
I can. Nice. All right. So I'm going to slide this off. Can you change so that there are now 7 birds on the wire? Nice. How'd you change it?
I added 3 more.
Nice work. Okay. Looks like the breakout rooms are going to bring us back in 30 seconds. We can either go ahead back to our main room or we can just wait. I say we wait and do 1 more. Okay? We have 7 birds on the wire. Sarah, how are you going to change it to 5? Or can you change it to 5, please? Nice. How'd you change it? Great. Great work. Okay. What was your favorite thing about our lesson? Very exciting. Okay, it's going to take us back to our main session now.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks.
So that was just an abbreviated version of a tutor asking a program coordinator to come in and help. In addition, we will provide training for tutors, which include optional webinars, readings, practice sessions, and a required small group orientation and training, which will take place in late October. Everyone will get trained and have ample time to practice during tutor orientations and additional training that will be offered. We have added some extra support and resources for you to ensure virtual tutoring is a positive experience. For those who want more tech support, we will offer virtual office hours and ongoing differentiated training. We will also include access to a resource hub that will have physical and electronic lesson guides like you would see in concept notebooks and short videos like we saw earlier to explain each game.
You just saw the formula for volunteer success, the school partnership, the curriculum, the coordinator, and the training. Let's talk about the program's results. It's been working well for the past 7 years. The main measure of student growth in math is our program assessments, and 98% of students have met growth goals on those assessments that were set with guidance from math specialists at UNC Charlotte and CMS. We also want to make sure students are doing well on their state proficiency exams, which in North Carolina are the North Carolina end of grade tests. In all 5 years measured, Heart students started lower than non-Heart students at their schools, but experienced more growth during the year that they participated compared to non-Heart students. We're also seeing that the year after programming, many students have closed the gap with their non-Heart students at their schools, especially if they enrolled as first and second graders, or if they mastered at least 60% of the skills for their grade level that are covered in our program. The other really important piece of our mission is that students build confidence and enthusiasm for academics. And over 90% of teachers have shared that they have seen an improvement in student confidence because of the program. Teachers have reported that kids participate more in class discussions, they're confident and excited after tutoring sessions, and also that they can better articulate their reasoning and answers in math. One principal even said that 60% of our Heart students improved their attendance from the prior year, which she attributed to students' eagerness to come to school on the days that they have tutoring.
So one of the things that we learned during our summer virtual tutoring pilot program was that virtual tutoring works. Heart Tutoring staff members tested this during the summer with 75 students. Results were encouraging, with over 130 students that signed up for the 75 spots within a week of posting the student enrollment link. That gives you an idea of how tutoring has been a highly requested service. 83% of students grew in a concept area, which we believe is comparable to the growth that they would make in the same amount of time in a school year. 100% of families rated the program as positive, with a Net Promoter Score of 92. Over half of students documented that they practiced the skills that they learned outside of tutoring times using the new Heart at Home resources. We're thankful to everyone who helped to make the summer program a success. Here is an example of one of the incentives earned when a student completed one row of their bingo board with Heart at Home activities. This student earned a wacky dress day. We love being able to work with the families this summer and hearing from them about the impact of the program for their children. On this slide are a few quotes about the program from families that had students participate in the pilot. I'll give you a moment to read those.
You can see on this chart breakdown that volunteers come from a wide variety of backgrounds. It's very important to us that the program works for many different types of people with a commitment of 1 hour per week. The relationship piece is very important for student confidence, and students are exposed to unique backgrounds and experiences of their volunteer tutors. Volunteers gain quite a lot from their experience meeting the students as well. Learning from students, building positive relationships with youth in the community, and gaining new perspectives of the world. Highlights from the volunteer survey were that 99% of the volunteers last year rated the experience as positive with a net promoter score of 87, and 97% felt that they did have a positive influence on their students' confidence in and understanding of math. We also asked volunteers whether their participation in Heart made them more likely to do certain other activities, and around 60% said they're more likely now to donate to causes supporting students in high poverty schools, and also to advocate in favor of increased funding for public schools. You can see on the next slide that the next two slides are the people and the partners behind these results that we just went over. This program would not be here with so many great partners in the community. We're very grateful to all the volunteer partners who have sent tutors to students across our city.
In addition to volunteerism, we are so grateful for the generous funding support from local foundations, corporations, and individual donors as well, who make all of this work possible. So we're gonna go over a couple of next steps, the biggest one being signing up and choosing your tutoring time. Students will receive 1 hour of tutoring each week through 2 30-minute sessions. You may have noticed in our photos and videos that 2 adults are present during all sessions. This is an important update to the model. Our #1 priority is safety, and this allows both students and tutors to be protected and not have an adult and student alone in a virtual space. One tutor will act as the lead tutor, leading the session and activities, while the other is an observer, providing another set of eyes during the session, but mainly staying in the background. You will alternate this role from one session to another, so no one has to worry about stepping on the other's toes. We tested the observer and lead tutor roles over the summer, and students have really enjoyed working and building relationships with both tutors. When you sign up, you can choose to tutor 1 hour 2 times a week or 30 minutes 2 times a week. You can choose any day, Monday through Friday, and we anticipate tutoring hours ranging from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. You will tutor the same students each week. You can customize your preferences on your tutoring sign-up form, and we will communicate updates once the times have been confirmed with all partner schools. There's an example of a schedule here on the screen that shows you the breakdown of the 2-to-1 model. Looking at this example, you can see that volunteers tutor for 1 hour each week, seeing one student for a 30-minute session. In one session, you'll be the lead, and then again, in the other, you'll be the observer.
This slide summarizes the commitment, and I want to highlight the timeline. Tutoring starts in late October this year and then would go for 20 to 25 weeks. We're currently getting student nominations from schools, and a team of staff members and trained assessors will be assessing each student in September and October. We're also currently confirming the tutoring times with schools, and we'll ask you to specify your tutoring time in a survey later in October. In late October, we'll also provide orientation in small groups and ways to partake in more training if you're interested and would like to connect with other volunteers. And so we anticipate tutors and students would meet each other at the end of October or in the first couple of weeks of November and start tutoring. We love this quote from a student who shared that the greatest gift ever is the time they spend with me. We hope that what we've shared today encourages you to sign up and share this opportunity with those around you. As a reminder, we're looking for 1,500 volunteers, so need around 700 more signups by October 23rd. At this time, we will share some answers to some frequently asked questions, but also take your questions. So please feel free to submit questions using the Q&A feature in the webinar here.
So what do I do during a tutoring session if I need help? You can go back in your mind to that video we played earlier, but you will always have full access to a coordinator who will be present for every tutoring session. There will be chat features as well as the Ask for Help button that will signal to the coordinator that you need help. When will you know tutoring hours? We are confirming with schools in the coming weeks. For now, we encourage you to sign up and list any preferences in the preference section on the online sign-up form. This includes the amount of time that you want to commit to tutoring. Again, that's 1 hour a week, 1 hour twice a week, or 30 minutes twice a week. We plan to send everyone who signed up a survey at the end of September, early October to confirm their time.
When will tutoring start and how will I get trained? Tutoring will start towards the end of October or early November. We'll be conducting mandatory virtual orientation sessions in small groups and then offering supplemental optional trainings as well that are specific to technology and curriculum. That'll be during October.
What happens if the student does not show up? We will be working closely with families and teachers to ensure students are present for sessions. Attendance was very strong for the summer pilot. We plan to have a strong attendance policy to discourage students from missing sessions and will replace the student with another if needed.
And who can tutor? So right now CMS allows volunteers who are 18 years old or older, but not any CMS students who are currently in high school. We know also that volunteers can reside in North Carolina or South Carolina, and we're waiting for more guidance on whether volunteers can be accepted who live in other states. The volunteers do need to pass a background check that's facilitated by Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools. My company uses WebEx or Microsoft Teams or whatever it might be. Can I use that instead of Google Meets or Zoom? We need to follow the guidance of Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools and FERPA compliance, along with the features that we think are most critical for supporting a strong virtual model. So right now, tutors will not have the option to choose their own video conference platform. If your company doesn't allow access to Zoom or Google Meets, you'll need to use a personal device. Another question is, I don't feel comfortable going back into schools at any time during this year. What will be asked of me if students return to the building? So Charlotte-Mecklenburg Schools is facing an enormous amount of uncertainty that could definitely impact student schedules later in the year. We've gone ahead and made the prediction that volunteers will not be allowed in schools this year due to the community health factors. We could definitely be wrong about that, but we know it would be difficult for you to sign up for virtual tutoring now with the possibility of being expected to show up later this year in person. So we want to go ahead and establish that we will not be making the request for you to show up in person later this school year.
And can people who never tutor with Heart sign up? Yes, everyone will receive training, and we would love for everyone to spread the word to their family and friends. Will you see the same students each week? Yes, you will be working with the same students each week. If you have indicated a certain time frame in your application and you need to change that, you can just let me know through my email address there on the slide, and we'll add that to the chat in just a moment. We will email this PowerPoint deck and recording of the presentation so that you will have access to all that was reviewed today. Thank you all for your time and attention. The more volunteer tutors that join us, the more students we can serve. You can complete the sign-up form and customize your preferences online on our website. We look forward to meeting you and for you to meet your students in late October. I'm going to add my contact information to the chat, and we'll stay on for a few more minutes if you have additional questions. Thank you all.